balanced attack out of that West Coast.
Both these guys with 13 MCS wins. Looking to add to it. And they got the audible set up. And we are ready to go. Scott Cole and RG here live from Redwood City, just outside of San Francisco, as we continue to rock and roll here through the Madden Club Championship presented by Snickers.
And you see User, he's going to be talking. I'm telling you, this guy has an infectious personality, a ton of charisma. So you can expect him to be talking to himself all game long up there on that main stage.
Well, let's start it off. Ball at the 22, and Russell Wilson will hand it off to Johnson. He's got some room, a lot of it. One man to beat. Can he get by Dion? Couple jukes, and he's to the cribbo. One play, one score. Welcome, Nickhacko.
And we were talking about one great user talking. You hear Nickhacko up there, just opens up the game with a big run. One great user not showing good user with the defender. Poor stick on the Pat Tillman, and that full Chris Johnson has 96 plus speed, and he was on his horse. Advantage Nickhacko to open up the game.
Buckle up, folks. One great user's already been put on skates. Here in the opening play of the game, let's look at it one more time. Chris Johnson, see ya.
It's just bad stick work right there on that Pat Tillman. You spend all that cap on him, give him tackle supreme and enforcer. You gotta be better than that if you're one great user. And look at the emotion right there from young Nickhacko, the 19-year-old from Beaver, Pennsylvania.
So user finds himself down a touchdown. Just 15 seconds into the ball game.
And that's tough if you're user, Scott. This is a guy that won a Madden Challenge Regional all the way back in 2007. That's how long he's been doing it. And it's been 12 years since he's been back on the main stage playing for big bucks. And then your first play of the game, you let up a big run like that. But I'll tell you what, if anybody has the mental capacity to fight through that, it's going to be one great user. This is a guy that doesn't get very frustrated. He doesn't go on tilt, and he knows how to have a lot of fun up there and keep himself in the ball game.
We were talking earlier, you said a win here for user would be the biggest of his career. You could say the same for Nickhacko.
For sure, both of these guys, the biggest game of both of their Madden careers up until this point.
Chris Johnson, the former East Carolina Pirate, will take it ahead for 2.
And if you're user, Scott, you have a run-heavy type of scheme, so you can't afford to fall behind too many points to Hacko, because that's just not the way your offense is built. So that makes this opening drive for him that much more important. He's going to need to execute.
One great user brings in the number 5 rushing offense at 123 yards per game. And he might need more than that to have a chance here today. Johnson stretches it out, gets a block on the outside. He's got some room. And he'll step out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
Good play by user, good stick work. It looked like he was going to take a delay of game, was able to get the flip play off at the last second, run it to the left. Turn it into a nice little gain. And Hacko should be fortunate Chris Johnson's jukebox didn't let him break to the crib right there.
Jackson able to hold on and force him out of bounds. And this time it's a meeting in the backfield, and he'll lose a yard.
And we saw that from Nickhacko when he won his Saints Club championship. Not only did this guy have run defense, he had hats on ball all over the place, and that was a good example of it. His 3-4 defense is not to be messed with in this run game, but if anybody could do it, it may be one great user.
22 personnel one more time here on 2nd and 11. Chris Johnson will dot the I. He's using a lot of this clock. And Chris Johnson will make his way to midfield. And here comes a 3rd down.
And this is where if you user, it's tough. You're a run-first type player. I know part of him wants to run that ball, but you have that Tom Brady with the hot route master ability, which is going to let you open up things through the air right here. He has a decision to make here. Do you keep the ball in the hands of Chris Johnson, your best player, or do you put that hot route master to work and try to dot up on this 3rd and 8?
He has a 3rd down conversion rate of 39%. That's 30th out of 32. And he's going to call a timeout. Can't take him with you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and look for him to pass here. If he's going to come out in this 11 personnel, you got to figure he's going to go to the air. If User wants to run the ball, he's usually in that 22 personnel with those two tight ends and those that halfback and the fullback.
This is OneGreatUser's best finish ever in the MCS era. Before this, it was 65th back in the Madden 18 Club Championship. Trying to double up his money here. Hester moves to the outside. He's going to hand it off to Chris Johnson, and he will find the first down.
Oh. Big play right there from User. I think he had Hacko fooled like he had me fooled. I was for sure thinking he was going to pass the ball coming out in that 11 personnel. You got Brady with the hot route master. Instead takes a page out of Dreeny's playbook, goes to the hand, that inside zone out the gun tight slots, picks up the first.
Brady, they'll go back to the run. Chris Johnson nearly got through there, but Troy Polamalu saves a touchdown.
Yeah, and that play right there is User's bread and butter. That's going to be that stretch X alert lookie. And an I-form twin tight end formation. This is one of the toughest plays to stop in the game, and there was why.
Hester on the RPO will pick up the first down at the 25.
Yeah, Scott, if you're a runner and you're playing Madden 20 and you're not running that stretch alert X lookie out of the I-form wing, you're just not doing it right.
And now Chris Johnson. Can he get to the pylon? And we got a tie ball game.
He really thought I was going to lay down. Come on, player. Come on, player.
In previous Maddens, I wouldn't call it a tie ball game, but extra points pretty much good.
You think I'm going to get shook off a busted play? First play of the game? Man, please, bro.
And that's what I was telling you, Scott. This is a guy, User, you hear him. You think I was going to get shook off a busted play? A lot of players might get shook, but this guy knows how to keep his emotions in check, and most importantly, when he's up there playing the game of Madden, he knows how to have fun.
The thing is that he let me score. Like, come on, man.
Well, he's able to
can't just let User go down and put no offense. That was too easy.
Take up 3 minutes and 25 seconds on that drive. And now Nickhacko will get it back. But look at this run again.
Yep, again, that stretch, alert, X, lookie. It gives you a stretch to the outside, but then you have the wide receiver running a slant from the backside. A very tough play to stop, especially if the quarterback's making the right decision with the handoff or the RPO. That's a new feature in Madden 20. This is the first year we've ever seen the RPOs in Madden. Oh, my gosh.
2 plays, 2 scores. Chris Johnson, the speedster, and Hacko's back on top.
Look at this. This is terrible. This is terrible. I ain't gonna lie. He making it look like I'm pure trash out here. That's terrible. Jesus, man. What's up, man?
This is a old head versus the youth movement for sure.
This is tough for User, man. I'm telling you, Scott, where he takes the most pride is in his defense. He's been known in the Madden community for years as a defensive guru. And now you have 2 plays for Nickhacko and 2 big, long runs for touchdowns. If you're a User, you're going to have to clean it up. This is just uncharacteristics. And hats off to Nickhacko doing what it do on the ground.
Let's take a look at this replay presented by Snickers. It's a touchdown.
And that's CJ. We talked about it. He gets up to 96 speed with that power up and that sprinter chem. And once you give him a little bit of daylight, it's going to end up being lights out.
Well, they say the numbers don't lie. That User defense against the run is actually 23rd here in the tournament out of the 128.
Yeah, you can't be giving up. You spend that much cap on Tillman, you need to make a play with him. Users manually taking him out of the play 2 times now. See how he responds on offense.
He's going to the pass, and he's going to go up top to Hester, and he can't pull it in. He had A wide open.
Oh, man.
His tight end was wide open over the field with no safety.
Yeah, I saw that, Scott. No one around him. Instead, he goes to Hester.
We're going to have to fight today. If y'all don't know it, we're going to have to fight today.
And with that Hester, that's 97 speed, I believe, going up against a 94 speed Dante Jackson for Hacko.
Oh, yeah, Dion.
That's one User's expecting to go to the crib.
Oh, yeah, Dion. Oh, make him pass.
I like the emotion of Nickhacko, Scott. You can tell this young man came to play. Look at him, he's scullied up.
It's okay.
Got a Saint Scully on. Now he's got User in a big 3rd and 11. Nickhacko's looking strong right now.
That's been the game plan. Put a runner in a 3rd and long situation. Needs to get just shy of the 35 there. Keep the drive alive.
User told us after his win he's legally blind in one eye. He's not trying to pass this ball and have to make reads.
Get home, man.
And Johnson will pick it up. That's Lane Johnson that'll
I know we're going to point and play D right here.
take it for a gain of 2. And here's a 4th and 9.
Good D.
I think if you're User, you got to punt this rock. Yeah, he's going to have to punt. Can't afford not getting this first down and let Nickhacko stop you and already be in field goal range to make it 2 possessions.
Well, RG, that's the end of one. 14-7 in favor of Nickhacko, who's only run 2 plays for 2 scores.
And then gets this big defensive stop. This game has been all Nickhacko so far. But I'm telling you, User has been known to play defense. If he's going to get some momentum, it's usually on the defensive side of the ball.
And it's a fake.
What is this?
Chris Johnson, oh, miss! And it's going to be new life for OneGreatUser.
He hit him with the okey doke, Scott. He says it out loud. I'm going to punt. He fakes us out. And then he goes with the beautiful scum tactic with the fake punt. Gets to the outside. And in the Madden world, it's good to be scum, Scott. You got to constantly be trying to deceive and trick your opponent and catch him off guard. User hits him with it. That is a humongous play. That was crazy.
That's the 2nd fake punt that we've seen in the tournament. And it's gone for a first down. 1st and 10 now at the 42.
Scott Hester.
And he held it. He had Y open as well on the flat.
He's looking for that deep bomb to Hester. He has that full Brady, and here's that replay. Look at CJ, and then jukebox. Whoopsie! Big first down. Good play call, good trickery.
It's been a while since we've seen something like that, RJ.
Hey, he's the oldest competitor in the tournament. He's got to have a few tricks up his sleeve.
Shazier in there at fullback. He'll line up at tight end now. And he'll head back. 2nd and 18. And he'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson gets to the edge, but Troy P's not having it.
And we talked at the top of this game when we showed the abilities that Troy P was secure tackler and unfakeable is going to be Nickhacko's best counter in the open field against that Chris Johnson and jukebox. And that was a good example of it right there as he matched the tackle from distance and able to keep Chris Johnson to a minimal gain. That's a good usage of abilities by Nickhacko.
You got to cash in after the fake punt.
And this is stretcher, X-alert looky.
And jukebox is to the outside, and it goes nowhere. Maybe got a yard. And now you definitely have to punt it away.
Oh, that's a shame, too, if you're a User. You got your trick play up your sleeve. You save it for when you need it. It works, but then you're not able to capitalize on the drive where you used it. It's a tough break for User, but great defense from Nickhacko.
Okay.
And it's a decent punt that goes out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Remember, Nickhacko has only had the ball for about 22 seconds or so. 2 plays, 2 scores.
Right?
I'm counting kickoffs in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's going to have all 3 timeouts to work with. 2:45 to go in the half. I want to say a happy Wednesday to you folks that are tuning in out there.
What the hell going on?
We had a great day in the AFC yesterday, and the NFC looks like it's going to replicate. 2nd and 12.
This is where User wants Nickhacko. He wants to see him pass the ball.
And there's John Ross getting to the outside.
Hey.
I mentioned OneGreatUser, one of the oldest competitors. Evil O got eliminated, but Boogs, he's playing civil right now on the other side between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. We got highlights of that coming up here at the half. So many good matches going on. And tomorrow and Friday is going to be bonkers.
This is where User wants him, Scott. You hear him saying to himself, go get him. And when he's saying that, that means he's sending 6 or 7 defenders, sometimes 8 at the quarterback. Look for him to send all the dogs right here at Hacko. Question is, can Hacko pick up the blitz?
Let's go.
2-minute warning. 7-point lead for Hacko here on 3rd down. They do pick up the blitz. Wilson gets to the outside. He's going to use his legs, and he fumbled it. It's a scoop up by Griffin, and he can't get to his feet. But User's going to have the ball at the 24-yard line going in.
And we've seen him make some bad plays on defense with his user defender. That time he clicks on, makes a beautiful user tackle, forces the fumble. And I told you, Scott, if he was going to get himself some momentum, get himself back in the game, he was going to have to do it on defense. He comes through right there, and now we got ourselves ball game.
Y'all let me know. Y'all want me to try to win flex close? Win flex close, D?
So no timeouts, 152 left in the half. And you'll head up under center.
Man.
Yep, he's in this wing flex close. It's usually either going to be a dive or a stretch to the outside. That's what you got to look out for.
And he'll go to the dive. Pinballs his way to the 21, just outside the red zone, and Hacko's going to use a timeout.
Yeah, when you see this wing flex close, some guys can pass out of it, but mainly that's what you got to look out for, is that inside run up the middle or the stretch to the outside with him trying to get the numbers. It's tough to stop both of them. You kind of got to guess right.
Nobody's running now.
2nd and 7 now.
It's going to be stretch left.
Oh, God, I ain't motioning the wrong guy.
And he'll go to the wide receiver side, and Dion can't make the tackle. He makes 2 miss. Needed 1 juke. He came up with 2 and steps out at the 6-yard line.
We gonna make him work, man. He been getting free points. He been getting free money.
User trying to tie it up here at the half. Goes back to Chris Johnson, and this time the edge sealed off by Troy P.
And if you're a young player, Scott, one thing to take away from User is just look how comfortable he is up there. So many things have gone wrong for him. He's made some bad plays, but he continues to have fun, continues to stay focused and locked in at the task at hand, and that's just so important.
1:37 to go now.
He wasn't always that way, Scott, by the way.
I can imagine a young OneGreatUser.
Oh, yeah, he on that.
1 timeout remaining for Hacko. And Chris Johnson, no sir. This time Dion makes the tackle. Nickhacko will use his final timeout with 1:33 to go. So he is going to get the ball back here near the end of the half. The question is, will it be a touchdown, or we have to settle for 3?
Yeah, this is a huge play. Look for User to quick hike at this stretch, maybe to the left. If he doesn't get this, he's going to have to take the 3.
And Chris Johnson looking for the pylon, and he got it. Touchdown, User.
Now the D trying to tighten up. Y'all know what we're going to do. Hey, y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to make him earn it. We're going to make him earn it.
You see the difference in body language up there, Scott. User having a lot of front. Hacko looking a little bit discouraged. If you're Hacko, you got to stay confident, stay poised, know that you're still in control of this ball game. You're getting the ball back in a tie game. You can take the lead right here. Don't let User's charisma throw you off.
We gave up a free 14.
So DeMarco will take it for Hacko, and he'll lay down at the 24-yard line. And it looked like it was going to be all Nickhacko, but here comes User.
And look at this race to the sideline. Palu versus CJ, game of inches, and CJ's in there, and User's failing it.
We got a good one here in the AFC South. At the highlights of that Civil and Boogs game coming up in about 1:27. No timeouts remaining for either of the competitors. And so the clock's going to be on the move. But how about Chris Johnson for Hacko? 4 carries for 154, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, his offense looked great on those first 2 runs. Then he had that big turnover on his last drive.
Yeah, Russell Wilson would cough it up. And that led to points for OneGreatUser. Can the youngster, 19 years old from Pennsylvania, put it together here with under a minute to go in the half? Chris Johnson gets to the second level, goes right by Tillman.
Yeah, Chris.
No.
And Dion. Boy, he should have went out of bounds there. They're going to mark him down at the 36, and this is going to be a huge runoff.
He don't really want to pass.
User just doesn't have run defense right now for these stretches and shotgun runs that Hacko's throwing out him. He's getting caught on the wrong defenders. He's trying to click onto Tillman. He's not using them correctly, and Hacko continues to take advantage of that.
So 30 seconds to go now. I say you should have went out of bounds, but I don't mind the jukebox opportunity to break away from a guy that doesn't have a secure tackle.
Yeah, because it's a chance for a crib shot.
And he'll get to the line here, and I think we'll see a spike and a field goal. It's going to be a 52-yarder coming up here for Hacko.
Come on, bro.
What a first half it's been.
I can't let this pop.
Hacko trying to
I can't let this pop.
break the tie here
From bunch,
with a field goal.
West Coast and ain't throwing no dice. What?
You hear User, he wasn't expecting. Someone's in West Coast, you don't used to them running like this. He might have missed.
Oh boy.
He might have missed. You see right here, that accuracy bar right outside.
It is up, it's drifting right, and it's off the crossbar. Doinkins here at the end of the half.
Oh, baby.
In the momentum, all with one great user. 14-14 here at the half in the NFC South, and that gives us an opportunity to check in on Civil and Bugs with my guys, Nick and Tyler.
You guys having fun up there? We've got a great game between Bugs and Civil. This one back and forth. It started out with Tyreek Hill in a crib shot.
Yeah, this was some filthy stick work by Civil to go up 7-0 with that Tyreek Hill, man. That was nasty. And we've had a battle so far, back and forth. Low-scoring game. I thought it'd be a little more high-scoring than it is.
It seemed like Bugs maybe a little out of his element early, but his defense stepping up big to lurk with Denzel Ward.
Great lurk right there by Denzel Ward. And just a nice stick work right there. Couldn't get in the end zone, but we're in a battle here.
He was able to take a field goal, cut into that lead 7-3, and this game a little slow. It wasn't the most exciting first half because both these guys trying to feel out the offense. Bugs, though, with a big play to Marvin Harrison, really got things going.
That slot apprentice on that post with Marvin Harrison, and like you said, Nick, we thought it was going to be a little more high scoring, more points than there has been. A little surprised to see that.
It's 10-7 at the half. Bugs on top, but Civil very much in this game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Second quarter right now, close game, going back and forth. I like to see who can get that big score in the second half to take advantage.
This game seems like it should come down to one or two plays. Remember, guys, you're going to be able to watch all these games on demand. That's right. I know everyone in the chat wants to see the Civil and Bugs game. It's going to be on the Madden Competitive Gaming channel. Boy, what a game we have on the main stage. Scott and RG, you having fun?
Wow, the fun is an understatement right now. It went back and forth. It looked like Nickhacko was going to come in here and just kick one great user right out of the studio. Next thing you know, he fought back, and we are tied. And one great user is going to get the ball here, RG, to start the half.
Yeah, and as you can see, to take out a guy like User, you're going to have to beat the virtual bag out of him on in this Madden gridiron, because he is just, it's going to take so much to discourage him. He's going to continue to fight, and he's going to continue to have fun up there. But if you're Hacko, you got to believe in yourself. You've played phenomenal Madden up until this point, and your club, you knocked off one of the favorites in Allen, one of the best up-and-coming players there is in the circuit. You got to believe in your skills, continue to execute and try to get the job done.
So they'll start the drive at the 26. Back to Chris Johnson. And Troy Polamalu, the man from Southern California, will come over and make the stop.
And I was talking to Nickhacko before this event, Scott, and he said User was the guy he prepared the least for. He said there's no way the Falcons are going to beat the Niners, so I'm not going to get matched up for them. I'm going to prepare for Civil or Bugs, and sure enough, that upset with the Falcons just changed everything. So Hacko coming into this game, admittedly not very well prepared for User.
I think Vegas thought the same way. 14-14. That really shook things up here in the club championship. And he boxes it up here on second down. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 11, and that's not the down and distance that one great user is searching for.
And I like to see that from Hacko. You see him showing a little bit of energy. He's got some of the best run defense on the circuit, gets some hats on ball, and lets user know about it. Big 3rd and 11.
Brady will flip the play. Johnson will go over on the left side of Tommy Ballgame. Now back to the right. Needs to get past the 35. Let's call it the 35.5. Already a minute 20 gone by here in the 3rd. Scott Cole, RG with you. Brady all day, and he throws it up underneath. And Grant, who works his way to the 37. It's a first down.
I was just going to say, Scott, there's no way user's going to dot anywhere here besides Hester. The rest of his receivers are all 10 caps. But then he gets 10 caps. Grant just wide open underneath on a short drag route. And who would have thought old man user would have cooked up a hottie-dottie on 3rd and long?
So that makes it a first down at the 37 now. 2 minutes already gone by. And Brady will hand it off, gets a block on the outside, but someone forgot about big number 50. Comes through and makes a huge play by Ryan Shazier, his 2nd tackle of the game.
Yeah, Hacko's run defense joining the party. But he says it. He said run defense is tough. You can have hats on ball 3 out of 4 plays. All it takes is that one big run. But so far he's holding up.
I promise. I'm not running that no more.
Well, we're starting to talk now in the 2nd half. And here's a 3rd and 14 incoming. Brady's going to get in the gun. User only gets in the shotgun 29% of the time. This is not where he wants to be with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd. Big 3rd down.
Oh, yeah,
Brady can't get rid of it. Sack him up. It's Montez Sweat. And you got to get your boot out.
And that just all starts with Nickhacko's run defense. You blow users run up on 1st and 2nd down. You get him into a 3rd and long situation. He only has that one wide receiver who's not tanked in Devin Hester. He's not going to have success in those situations more often than not. That was a good defense.
Returned RG. That was dangerous. But good coverage there by OneGreatUser.
All right, so look, we got air read.
And so Nickhacko will take over at the 31-yard line.
I played a whole half with no air read.
One thing I got to throw out there real quick, Scott. I got to give a shout out to me and my guy users, Madden brother and friend Loso, who's in the hospital right now getting over a tough car accident. Loso, we're thinking about you. I know you're watching the stream. Get well, brother.
1st and 10 now at the 31. Chris Johnson put Deion on skates. It's between him and Tillman. And Pat will force him out at the 45 and plus territory.
Yeah, users run defense has just not showed up to this party.
He gonna have to beat me.
And you thought it was going to be users Chris Johnson that was doing all the work, but Nickhacko and his run game have truly showed up.
He's given up 228 yards on the ground. Nickhacko only has 3 yards passing. And here's Chris Johnson again. Stiff arms one, but Pat Tillman able to lay the lumber. And it's going to be a 2nd and 8.
That's what you're trying to see from Pat Tillman. You spend all that cap on him. You expected him to make those big hits. Finally, he comes through for user. Gets a hit on that Chris Johnson.
Ball at the 43. 35 seconds to go in the quarter, and we got a bunch of guys in the box here on D. And they're going to run it anyway. They load up the box, RG, and he still hands it off.
It's going to be a big 3rd and 11, Scott. It's going to be Hacko's West Coast bunch against users 3-4 solid. Go get him defense.
You would think this is 2-down territory. Let's see if he runs a play before we head to the 4th. Up to the line. And he will take it to the 4th quarter. 14-14. We go scoreless in the 3rd after a myriad of points in the 1st half.
Oh,
And it comes down to the final 5 minutes to see
I'm tripping.
who's going to be trying to get out of this division and face the winner of Civil and Boogs. We're playing right now. We'll have all those highlights after the end of this one. Put your fours up. Here we go. Wilson to the outside. He overthrew him.
Oh my gosh.
The former second baseman for NC State threw that one in the stands.
Now it's decision time for Hacko. You're not in field goal range. You're not in your own territory. He's likely going to go for this right here on 4th down.
If you're scoring at home, that was an E4. E4.
He's going, Scott. Big 4th and 11.
Ball at the 46. Trying to keep the drive alive, and he threw it right at Tillman's feet, and it's a turnover on downs. That never had a chance.
This a good Madden game or what, huh? I mean, these guys are knotted up at 14. They have been battling back and forth, fighting their hearts out up there on the main stage. Someone's going to have to make a play here in the 4th quarter and take control of this ball game. And right now, User has a great opportunity to do so with the rock in his hand.
Now OneGreatUser, the guy that lives about 35 minutes from downtown Charlotte, where the Panthers call home. And he sends the heat with Montez Sweat. And User can't get out of there.
If you're User, you can't do that, Scott. He's fallen in love with that deep ball to Hester. You got a run first type offense. You just can't take a sack on 1st down to get you this 2nd and 17. It's not the way this offense is built. He knows it too. He's kicking himself in the butt for that one.
And this time Brady will hand it off the middle. And here comes 3rd down. 3rd and long. He's run the ball 20 times for 83 yards. Coming up on 4 minutes to go, RG.
I'm trying to think what User's going to do here. He doesn't have many plays for this situation. I'm telling you, Devin Hester, that only receiver. Brady just doesn't have the mobility to get it done. I mean, his team is not built for these situations, and he just keeps on finding himself in them. 3rd and long, time and time again. He's just not managing the offense the correct way. And part of that's just hats off to Nickhacko.
Watch Hester coming around the middle here. He's going to flood it to the right and try to hit Hester back to the left. And here he is. And he's big time hit.
That's a whole lot of D. Go win the game, bro. Go win the game.
That's good defense right there from Hacko. User goes to the same exact passing play he had success with. Hacko stays with Hester till he crosses the middle of the field, then comes
And
down.
it's another fake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
And this time it doesn't work.
Not again. Not again. Not again. No.
Takes a special kind of dirtbag to go for the fake. The same fake twice in one game, Scott, but uses that special kind of dirtbag, and I mean that in the nicest way. But that I don't know about that play call right there.
And so now Hacko needs about 8 yards to get in field goal range.
Yep, here comes that stretch to the left. He's showing you had so much success with this. User controlling that Pat Tillman with tackle supreme and enforcer, 42 cap for those abilities.
And Chris Johnson will pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 10. Maybe got half a yard.
I mean, they're kind of just stalled out in this middle of the field, Scott, between the 40, each other's 40-yard lines. Neither one of them able to break into field goal range here. If you're Hacko, you got to take advantage of this field possession and get yourself some points.
Nickhacko beat Allen to get here,
Get out,
and
get
then
out,
beat
Chris,
Viz
get out.
into Chris
The game's
Johnson.
over with a stop. Come on, man.
3
The game is
touchdowns
over.
now
Get a
for
stop.
CJ.
Just stop the run.
And Hacko regains the lead.
Oh, Lord, the boy is playing some good D. You got the juke on me right there. Come
And
on,
it's
man.
up and it's
You
good.
can't
2
do
plays,
that.
42 yards, taking up just 33
Come on,
seconds.
man. Lock up.
And now User's back's against the wall.
And that's Nickhacko bringing that jukebox ability to the West Coast offense. If he doesn't have jukebox, that's a tackle in the backfield. Instead, he uses the ability, times the juke, and gets rewarded for it with a crib shot. Look at this. Whoopsie! Then I'm off to the cribbo to take the lead in the fourth quarter in the biggest game of my life. You think Nickhacko's hyped?
What a game it's been so far. And now the differential is 7 for OneGreatUser. It's the old head versus the youth. And the youth movement has got it done here in the NFC so far. Henry with a big win over Evil O, and now OneGreatUser finds himself down a touchdown.
Yeah, Sweat, he don't want to pass. He really don't want to pass.
Montez Sweat has been an absolute animal in the second half.
Oh, for sure. Big play right there for Montez Sweat. And we told you the key to the game was going to be User's run game versus Hacko's run defense. And in this fourth quarter, it's been all Hacko in that run defense. He's got User boxed up right now on offense.
Put Shazier back at fullback. And he's going to flip the formation. Doesn't have a lot of time.
I don't like this. This is the same exact play he just ran.
And he goes to the short side, and Troy Polamalu will bring him down at the 27. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 21-14. Nickhacko trying to hold on to move on and face the winner between Civil and Boogs, as the Falcons and Buccaneers are battling out on the other side. Nick and TD will have all those highlights.
This is it, Scott. This is a big, big play in this ball game right now. 3rd and 7. If User doesn't get this, it's going to be awkward, because if Hacko stops him, he'll be in field goal range. Woo!
And a good find outside to the 44-yard line. Got a score update from that other game. 14-10, Civil with the lead with 2:15 to go. So we might get some bonus coverage depending on how this game goes.
That was a big play right there from OneGreatUser, Scott.
That's in the 3rd quarter. When you got 2 runners over here on this side, the clock's on the move. That other game is taking a bit more time.
Make him die.
So we'll get a good chunk of that game pending we don't head to overtime. 1:05 to go. Here's a 2nd and 9.
This one's gone by quick, Scott. All that running.
Under a minute to go now. And there is the RPO to Hester. That'll pick up the first down. And now you want to use a timeout, and he will.
Yep, and with that timeout, if it wasn't before, this is officially the guap drive. User is all in on this drive. He needs a touchdown to keep his club championship hopes alive. Will he go down and tie the ball game, or will Nickhacko step up with the stop he needs? This is what it's all about here at the club championship, Scott.
So 1st and 10 at the 44. He'll go to the air with Brady. Steps, looks at it. Looked like it was going to be picked off. Instead, it's a completion all the way down at the 26.
The clock's ticking, Scott. The clock's ticking.
And he'll run it off to the 32 seconds now. 31, 30. 1st and 10. A lot of time coming off the clock here. Brady looking downfield. He's going to run. And now you got to use a timeout. That was a lot of time that came off the clock.
That was a lot, about 20 seconds after that completion. And if you're a User, you're getting yourself in an awkward situation here. You just don't have the offense built to get these chunks of yardage. But every time it seems like he's down and out, he's been able to make the play that he needs. Has he got any more magic left in him?
2nd and 7 now. Here's the heat.
Come on, man.
And now he's out of timeout. 16 seconds to go. 3rd and 14.
That might have just been a $3,500 sack right there from Nickhacko. Took User's last timeout. It's 3rd and 14 from Hacko's 30-yard line. If you're User, you gotta go for the gusto. If you're Hacko, you gotta wrap it up right here.
Needs to get inside the red zone at the 16, but he's got no timeouts. It's got to be the end zone or the sideline.
He's just gonna send out 3 routes. Scott Wide going up on that wheel.
He wheels it to the outside, and Jackson secures the bag. It is an INT for Nickhacko.
A good game, bro.
And that'll do it. Saints are going to be moving on. Hacko gets it done. Certainly OneGreatUser fought RG, but it just wasn't enough.
Oh, what a ball game. And look at that emotion of Nickhacko. Put on a phenomenal clutch performance.